Despite my love to animation, I have to admit that when animation kind of mix in with live action, I don't find it too much of an appeal out of it. Why? Mostly because I have the tendency to believe that cartoons and live action don't mix. There are exceptions, like, how can I say, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a great movie. And what do I mean by when I say that cartoons and real life don't mix well, especially in movies? Here's the thing: when cartoons are shown into cartoon slapstick or really risky situations, we found the fun of it because there is a charm and a rubbery sense that cartoons has. It's something that you kind of know it when you feel it. But when it's live action, it's a little bit closer to home, and any kind of resemblance of seeing the actors acting like a cartoon, you find it a little bit too silly. I mean, it could make a little kid laugh, but okay, let's see if that kid laughs if you can see your father falling down the stairs and breaking his back. So it's a little bit out of some kind of perspective problem that I kind of see. But that doesn't mean that I can't approve it. I'm just saying that sometimes it doesn't mix well, and to combine cartoon silliness into live action, it is a pretty daunting task. First of all, they have to earn that world. But unfortunately, lately, not many of these movies managed to create it really well. I mean, some of the latest that I have seen, like Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Scooby-Doo, they were freaking awful, and people don't get it. They don't get why, how can this work? And unfortunately, many of those Disney Channel sitcoms and any other stuff, they fail to notice that. And this is another reason why the latest of that kind of movie that caught my attention, which is Peter Rabbit. I felt like, this is not gonna be good. But you know what? This is what I'm going to talk about today. Today I'm going to talk about Peter Rabbit. I know that it came out 2 weeks ago, but I am late on the game because there's something that I had to talk about it. My true story with Peter Rabbit. First of all, I was not very familiar with the story except for the basic story until I kind of began to investigate, and I do remember seeing the story when I was a child. You know, basically a mischievous rabbit runs away to have some mischief. He disobeys his mother by trespassing the gardener's garden. He eats the vegetable. The gardener sees the rabbit, chases him away. The rabbit loses his clothes because they're anthropomorphic. And of course, Peter Rabbit gets sick, and he gets in bed where his mother scolds him, but at the same time treats him with some tea. That's pretty much the basic of the first Peter Rabbit story. A very simple story that, from what I can remember. And now I began to realize that they made other books about him where he makes cameos, and now we got that movie. And the trailer didn't impress me. The first time I saw this trailer, it was in Texas when I invited my cousin to watch Coco. Both of us were... we didn't like it. I always expected that, they're gonna fall with the same old routine of taking a beloved character, in this case from London. I'm like, well, I know there's Paddington, but that's another thing. They took something, they decided to modernize it, and there are gonna be some cartoonish jokes, and again, it falls down with the category of animation that I am not very fond of. Live action real life person acting like cartoon characters, which I already explained why it doesn't sit well to me. So yeah, it was a very freaking awful trailer. And I was dreading this movie to the point that I skip it. I decided to skip the movie wholeheartedly and wait for the other batch of movies that I went. That is until I got curious. First, I went to see the Cinema Snob's review on Peter Rabbit because I wanted to see how bad it was going to be. But I was surprised that he just loved the movie. And I was like, what? And the more he talked about it, it intrigued me. It came to be very intriguing. And then, the next day, I was talking with a friend of my aunt. And I was kind of considering about Peter Rabbit giving it a chance. And she was saying that, oh, there was this racial controversy. And I was like, wait, what? In Peter Rabbit? I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I kind of began to see that it wasn't a racial controversy, but more like an allergy controversy. And I was like, was it that bad, the controversy? I gotta see it! So today, I finally saw it. And this is my wholeheartedly opinion about the Peter Rabbit movie. Anyone involved in the marketing of Sony Animation Pictures should be fired. Because Peter Rabbit wasn't that bad. I am surprised. It wasn't that bad of a movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't too good, let's say. But you know what? It's watchable. I can't believe that the movie is at least watchable. Because during the whole movie, I didn't cringe one bit. Okay, maybe a little bit here and there, but I'll explain as it goes on. But man, these guys from the trailer did a terrible job. The movie follows, of course, our title character Peter Rabbit, along with his cousin and his 3 siblings. And they live in the house. They live in they cast the setting of the old story. They live nearby the garden. What was it, near the garden with this old man, the farmer? What was it, Mr. Gregory? I got it here. Mr. McGregor, who is this grumpy, who is the farmer from the original story. He always tries to catch the rabbit. He tries to kill them, but the rabbits also find some solace because also nearby they live by this hippie woman named Bee. I call her hippie because she's the kind of woman who she loves animals to the point of saying that the garden is for everyone. The garden is for everyone. She protects the rabbits, and she's very artistic, very hippie. That's the best way I can describe it. But her art talents, let's say that she has this weird fascination that she wants to be a good artist, but she totally sucks. She totally sucks at painting, but when she paints Peter Rabbit and the others, she does it really well. I mean, seriously, look at this. This is a painting I made for a rabbit, and I paint, that woman's painting was worse than the ones that I paint. Except for the rabbit ones. Even though the rabbit ones are the illustrations from the original books. Okay, I'm padding things out on that nitpick. So what happened is that the old man dies of a heart attack because, well, obesity things, and so the animals are free. They're free to take over the house, but that is until the great nephew of the farmer, a guy named a guy who is played by Domhnall Gleeson. He is fired from his job by total unfairness In short, nepotism. He gets fired. He finds out that he inherited the farm, and he just decides to take that as an opportunity to use it as a resource to sell it, and then get some money enough to get some to earn himself a toy store. So he goes there to at least do some to see how the house is, and pretty much, yeah, it becomes a man versus animal war between Domhnall Gleeson and Peter Rabbit. And I'm gonna say this: if there's one good reason to watch this movie, it's Domhnall Gleeson. That guy is amazing. You can see the guy totally buying into this whole script, in which he really wants to kill off this rabbit. It's like seeing a cartoon based on General Hux from The Last Jedi, because he's played by the same actor, in which he goes to vacations and now he has to deal with a rabbit. That's how amazing this guy is. So totally watch that because of Domhnall Gleeson. But despite the fact is that what I like also about this movie is that he's not a total asshole, and most of the things that he does is mostly by a reasonable purpose. First of all, the guy is a little bit of a control freak. He wants everything neat and orderly. Apparently, he has this. What was it called? Obsessive compulsive syndrome, that everything must be neat and tidy. But at least he do it in a professional way, but also in a charismatic way, to the point that he just even dares to drink, to say the toilet should be she'll have the water looks like you can drink it, and he almost does. That was hilarious. And the way and when he gets angry, he has reasons. In the case of, well, Peter Rabbit, is that they invaded his home. He's technically doing what any reasonable guy is doing with a rabbit. But then comes Hippie Girl, and, well, they fall in love, but she kind of tells him that she doesn't like people who hurt animals, but also she doesn't like hypocrites. But still, Domhnall Gleeson tries his best to not show his bad side, but the poor guy has been tested to the limits because Peter Rabbit, he's just an asshole. He just trying to get not only the garden, but also he feels like he's taking the girl. He's taking the girl. That's what he admits a little bit later in the movie, but still, if you look at it in a perspective, most of the stuff is mostly Peter Rabbit's fault. It's not Domhnall Gleeson, and yeah, he's a little bit brash on the things that he's doing, but I mean, come on, come on, you kind of forgive that. So this is a little bit of the positives. The story, actually, I like that it kind of acknowledged that. But not too much. Not too much. I wish they could have acknowledged a lot that most of the fault is of Peter, not the Domhnall Gleeson's character. So that I could have liked a little bit better. But the way it goes, it is serviceable at best. There are cartoon slapstick, no doubt about it, when you want to make a family-friendly comedy of that caliber for I don't like to say for little children. It's too insulting for an animator. But the point is that I kind of like that they earn it. It's cartoonish slapstick without abusing it or making it a little bit cynical. They earn that, and they have the right timing. Even they can go with some good jokes here and there. For example, one of my likable running gags is that there is this rooster who he's like, cock-a-doodle-doo, oh, like finally the sun is gone, and every time that rooster appears, he just kind of complains, and I kind of love. I really kind of love that. But I gotta admit that, yeah, even though some of the slapstick is fine, sometimes there are jokes that they kind of pad out. And this is a little bit of one of the few negatives that I could say about this movie. Sometimes they fall off with the kind of joke that they just people talking like here and there. They talk a little bit awkwardly, like trying to be hip. Or sometimes they pick a music about some modern music. Luckily, they don't have modern music to accompany that. Just a little bit enough to set on the mood and don't abuse it. And well, they have a good soundtrack pick instead of. So in a way, it is my way to say that I don't like when most movies they try to be hip, to try to be on the wave of the new generation of children. That feels too manipulative in my opinion. Luckily, Peter Rabbit doesn't do that. What was it? Oh yeah, there's also a little bit of a weird running gag about that there are 4 birds that are singing. And every time these birds they sing, something hits them and interrupt them. That was kind of funny. I kind of like that. And that's pretty much I have about Peter Rabbit. I wasn't too fond of the movie 100%. Maybe I will say that I was fond of the movie 70 to 75% of it. It's funny how I was dreading dreading that the movie's gonna go bad, but it didn't. I feel like I have a little bit of hope on these kind of movies in which we combine humans with CGI cartoons. But still, I don't suggest it because as okay the animation on the rabbits are, I don't think they mesh well. If you have a better animator's eye, you can notice how fake the rabbits look compared to the humans. It kind of looks a little bit too real. But I gotta also admit, there are 2D animated segments that illustrates the same style of the old books, and they're gorgeous. Let's say that I'm more of a 2D animated fan more than anything else. So, is that all I have to say about Peter Rabbit? Yes. Do I recommend Peter Rabbit? Well, yeah, I really do. It's one surprise that I never expected. Finding a movie that I was dreading, but it came out well. It came out okay. I almost forgot about the allergy controversy. My allergy controversy reaction is this. You guys are totally making bullshit. It's not, if you're making cartoons, you know that when cartoons have the liberty to go into extreme measures, even dangerous measures. And yeah, cartoons also have the tendency that they're gonna die when the creator does. So stop complaining, please. The scene is just that the rabbits, well, they're bullying the guy with allergies, and yeah, he almost died. But he didn't die. He just used his medicine. I know that it's bad, but think about it. The bunnies weren't doing good. They were technically the villains of the movie. Peter Rabbit was technically his own villain. But don't worry, he learned his lesson. He got what he deserved. He got what he deserved from his mischief. Sometimes mischief kind of leads some people into, well, life or death situations. So don't take it too wholeheartedly. I know that it may be sensitive for people who has allergies, but kind of chill out. It isn't that bad of a deal. It's not like it's not like the rabbit just laughed out of his corpse, even though the guy didn't die. That movie had him more mean-spirited, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was more into the same level of Looney Tunes. Those are my 2 cents about the allergy controversy. I'm actually more offended to the trailer more than the allergy thing. That kind of proves that sometimes trailers should be done well. They should be taken a little bit more seriously. If you want to have a movie taken a little bit more seriously, and my biggest lesson is never underestimate a family-friendly show or film. If you treat it like an idiot, you're gonna be seen like an idiot, like that trailer did. And Peter Rabbit is one of those movies that you should watch it and think that it didn't deserve that kind of presentation.